All right.
Tell all of our friends.
So another follow-up to a story that we talked about
In this same
a
session.
few weeks ago.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, this was a few weeks ago, where the I believe it was the ASA in the UK. Didn't mean to rhyme that, but it did. They are the Advertising Standards Authority, and they basically investigated Hello Games in the game No Man's Sky to figure out if they basically did misleading promotions for the game.
Which they pretty much did.
Which they did. That's like undeniable.
There's there's that meme footage that I always see of that like creator dude or whatever always saying like, yeah, you can do all this, like do this stuff, and then it's just like, no,
with his
can't.
crazy
yeah,
smile.
he's like smiling. You know?
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
So I do want to take some time to actually go through the main points of the ruling straight from the ASA. So here's what they said. The ad contained several screenshots and 2 different video trailers for the game, as well as a text description. We understood that as No Man's Sky was procedurally generated, player experiences would vary according to what material was generated in their playthrough. The summary description of the game made clear that it was procedurally generated, that the game universe was essentially infinite, and that the core premise was exploration. As such, we considered consumers would understand the images and videos to be representative of the type of content they would encounter during gameplay, but would not generally expect to see those specific creatures, landscapes, battles, and structures. We therefore considered whether the game and footage provided by Hello Games contained gameplay material of a sufficiently similar type to that depicted in the ad. We understood that the user interface design and the aiming system had undergone cosmetic changes since the footage for the videos was recorded. However, we did not consider that these elements would affect a consumer's decision to purchase the game, as they were superficial and incidental components in relation to the core gameplay mechanics and features. We therefore did not consider the ad was likely to mislead in that regard. We understood that the screenshots and videos in the ad had been created using game footage, and acknowledged that in doing this, the advertisers would aim to show the product in the best light. Taking into account the above points, we considered that the overall impression of the ad was consistent with gameplay and the footage provided, both in terms of that captured by Hello Games and by third parties, and that it did not exaggerate the expected player experience of the game. We therefore concluded that the ad did not breach the code. That is not the full ruling. Believe it or not, there's more to it. But yeah, those are the main points. So here's what I'm taking away from this. They ruled in favor of Hello Games. They're not going to fine them. They're not going to go after them. They basically said, yeah, what you have here, what you are presenting in the advertisement matches up pretty much with what you get in the game. And they said that this was mostly due to the fact that the game is procedurally generated. Mm-hmm. And of course, procedurally generated simply means things are randomized. You're going to see different structures. You're not going to see exactly what's on the box. Like, there's no set location that you're going to be able to see.
I just love this, though. Consumers would understand that these images and videos to be representative of the type of content they would encounter during gameplay, but would not generally expect to see those specific creatures, landscapes, battles, and structures. So you're just not supposed to expect to see the stuff you see in the trailer.
Well, here's where they're wrong. No one wanted to see the exact same big dinosaurs. No one wanted to see like the exact same large trees. It's just that we didn't see anything like that. That is the problem. And that's why I have a problem with this ruling. They just basically said, oh, well, the game advertises itself as something that's procedurally generated. Therefore, you shouldn't expect to see a certain set of things together. Well, we don't even see these things together. We don't see them at all.
Mm-hmm. And so is this only the problem with the advertising, like for some ads they had, or like what about also the stuff like I was talking about earlier, like the stuff that the guy said about it? Like, is that not a problem?
Well, the thing, not everything that he said was put in an advertisement. Yeah. I mean, him just going on a talk show or something, or at a games conference and saying like, fine. These are. Apparently, that's not what they go after. They only go after the specific advertisements. Correct. So, and I know that Steam Steam, I think, was brought up as one of the places where these ads were showing up, and they were not representing the full game experience. To me, bottom line with me, I don't agree with this ruling simply because it doesn't handle or deal with the actual complaint. They even brought up the fact that the aiming reticle looked different in the game. Yeah. Where is that complained about? I haven't heard complaints about that. Just because it was different, that's stupid to complain about if you did complain about it. Just because something looks different on the HUD, but still, you don't. There's legitimate complaints here.
They're pretty much just giving them a loophole, just like it's okay because of these tiny little reasons.
Because procedurally generated. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like, so are you telling me that you would let a game escape if it just like procedurally, it didn't generate any animals? Mm-hmm. Because remember, this is procedural generation. If you don't see any animals, well, you got
to keep looking.
They're basically blaming it on how the game was coded, as saying like, well, that's why you're not seeing these things. No, you don't understand. No one has seen these things playing the game.
Like no animals.
The large things, the large animals. Mm-hmm. Like I think the biggest.
There's like those little tiny things that like run around.
There's smaller ones. I think the largest ones that anyone have seen are like only the size of like a cow. Mm. But like dinosaur-sized things, no one's seen them. That and just the trailers just show things that you would expect to see in the game, and the actual gameplay doesn't represent that.
Yeah.
Like, whatever they used for the trailer did not come from the game. Or they used some kind of custom tool set to build something that they could show just in a trailer. They obviously didn't just pull the game up with its
just
code, native code,
spawn in the world,
and just record footage. Yeah, they didn't do that. You can do that with any other game and make a good-looking trailer, but they obviously didn't do that. So, you failed us. The United Kingdom failed us.